So, I'm going to tell you why Clerks 3 doesn't suck, even though he completely, um, in one foul stroke, uh, just demolished the previous two that he had set up in like 11 other movies, and he's all like, oh, like, midlife crisis, stuff. Um, George Lucas rewrite, fanboy. Like, they said that George Lucas rewrote Return of the Jedi when he saw or I think it was it was either Return of the Jedi or he rewrote Empire and Return of the Jedi to suit more of a their toy line and all of this kind of stuff. But it might have just been Return, right? And so, because I don't know, I mean, I thought it was still really dark, and obviously Luke is not. He's not a good. He's the dark side, kind of thing. Like, Luke is not. The nice Tatooine guy that he started out as, right? And he obviously kills Palpatine in a fit of rage instead of like calm tranquility or whatever of Qui-Gon. Because like, to me, the Jedi they're not good. They're just like enforcers, kind of like they mean well sometimes, but they're still enforcing stuff for the sake of private companies and things like that, and they're keeping this whole republic going, right? Even though they know that there's like all this corruption and crazy shit going on, and the Dark Jedi are like, oh, like, like, why are we gonna let a bunch of these mouth-breathing idiots ruin everything when we can just seize power and it'll last longer, right? And so, like, it's pretty gnarly, man. It's pretty gnarly. Like, I was always more like into the Qui-Gon guy because he was like a gray Jedi, but I mean, there are people who love the Jedi, and Yoda was cool and all that, but so, like, I thought, because he was like, he's all like always Jedi, he's like a gigantic Star Wars guy, which of course, like, I was once a huge Star Wars fan, right? And then Disney rewrote, redid the first 3 movies with amazing cinematography and acting, right? With the basic, it was just to remember this time, and remember, like, it was bullshit. It was it killed the franchise, in my opinion. I don't care how much money it made, like, it killed all the story, it killed everything, in a way, right? And then in another way, it continued where Lucas left off, and is sadly a probable likelihood. But this is it's because Lucas is not a good, he's not like a real benevolent individual. Like, he's still somebody who's like, oh my gosh, I see all the power that I can have and what I can get, and shit like that, like, he wanted to kill his nephew in their spin-off of the galaxy of whatever it is, even though it's definitely it's totally different from the books, and all this other stuff or whatever, but who cares? And so basically Clerks 3 is like if Bowfinger had sex with George Lucas's whole thing about going back and like you have to go all the way back to like 1982 or something like that. It's 1980 something to get the original theatrical Star Wars cuts without any of the additional scenes added or the cut scenes for special effects, and stuff like that. And so this is like a satire on George Lucas's film career and Bowfinger at the same time, which is awesome. But also at the same time, like paying homage, because even like I get it, dude. I've done the same thing, George Lucas. The amount of times that I've written a story and then gone back and was like, and then I at the end of it, it's not even the story that I started, and there's a good shot that the first version of the story was better than the alternations, But it's cool to see that like you can buy the gold edition, you can buy the silver edition, you can buy all of these different editions of the Star Wars, the first original 3 trilogy, and they have all of these different cuts, right? And they're all different fucking movies. And so like he is saying that like he did like a rewrite in the style of like what George Lucas did after he had his heart attack, and he did this gigantic rewrite, and I was all like, oh my gosh, like, do you think that he was super cool and was like, hey, why don't we also shoot the original script that might not even exist, that might just all be whatever it is, like him trying to justify to all of us what he did, because he knows that even though like this is awesome, it's I've rewatched it over 20 times on Stars, and I saw it the opening day in the theaters. I paid fucking $17 or $20. I paid $20 something to see it, Kevin Smith and Muse, and the others behind, and so like it's an amazing satire homage to like all of these really amazing, and like nobody's saying, because Bowfinger is one of the absolute best movies ever in every way, like it's a true masterpiece of film, and challenge me on that, how is it not, because it definitely is. And like so like basically Bowfinger had sex with the satire, joke homage sort of thing, of the reality of making something like this and a franchise, and by the end you're just like, oh shit, like I have to do a bunch of rewrites for whatever reason, like either I'm not the same person, and now I don't have the same confidence in the story that I had before, or I see the amount of money I can make off of franchising or merchandising or something like that, or whatever it is, and then they change everything. But I mean, what if there is a special edition DVD that will come out? This is what I'm hoping. That is the original script before it got rewrote to this, which isn't like, this is a really amazing, because they're all older, right? Like that's what you have to take into account. Like his characters develop with the story and the age while maintaining the base of their character, which is like super, like this was like when I was young and stupid, I was like, oh my gosh, all of these movies, like, and they're showing all the fake combat and all that stuff. Why are they doing all of this, right? Like, why aren't they showing real? That's not a real fight scene and stupid shit like that, right? And it's a fucking movie, and people aren't supposed to know how to do all of these things because the reality of people, and so, but this is like a place where you can actually show like a unshined up reality of like this life situation sort of thing, right? And so like this is like they're two real characters, right? Like these two dudes and the other ensemble, like they all exist as people, sort of, right? Like, and they didn't, like, yes, they wrote, and there are a bunch of people who have modeled their lives after these characters and stuff, but like just as far as people's development and stuff, like there are just people who probably have never seen these movies and are like these characters, and so like they're like evolving while showing that it's still the same shit, different day, and then he goes in and does the whole Bowfinger tangent of which is hilarious, because every movie costs $7,000 and 25 cents. I can't remember the exact number, or something about copyright infringement on a line. I don't know, but oh my god, like this is so underrated as it is. Like you have to rewatch it a bunch of times to catch everything, and then you have to know all of the backstories of the other movies and the lores and stuff, and you can hate on it, and you can also enjoy what they threw out here, because it's like yeah, I would love to have seen more. This is like legit his, people have their midlife crises or whatever, and this is the product of his midlife crisis, and then he made it so that it all, so like they're filming the fucking for the Clerks 1 and 2, but as a like a gigantic movie, I guess, like if they were to just shoot Clerks 1, 2, and 3 all in one movie, which is totally possible, because they do it with the TV shows, like 24 episodes, an hour an episode, every year for 20 years, okay? That's a lot of work. And so, like, it's like this whole, like, there's so many places that you could go with it, and you can see what you want to see, but not see but also like stay on the surface as well, and who knows what was going on in the back of this, this Wolverine's head, this honey badger, right? Like, we don't know, man. We don't know, But either way, this is like an amazing addition to his whole filmography, although in a way, because it's like an amazing, like, it's also like a fuck you at the audience, because it's like, okay, because he knows his audience. Him and Muse tour around, even though they never have come to, like, certain places that I know of, because I would have probably gone and seen them, or at least deadheaded it outside of their show, because there's a saying, Kevin Smith, and it's better to have good weed and no money than money and no weed. That's how some people say that. But I don't know if you'd say that. But either way, like, this is it's a great movie in a lot of ways, and it is a plausible outcome to a lot of things. And also, like, you have to wonder what was, because, like, the whole thing, like, Randall knows that Dante is gonna die or something like that. That somehow he's gonna lose Dante, and that Elias is his homeboy, is like his new, like, but that like Elias was gonna be there, right? Because that's how it is when in hometown life, which a lot of people don't, who watch movies and have opinions, are not living hometown life, and so like when you're like, okay, like I'm from this town, and the odds that I'll ever, because of the reality of economics and everything like that I'll ever get up and go and chase something else is very small. And so it's just kind of like, well, like I enjoy, this eatery, and I enjoy these things, and we have like our group of friends, and we all decided to stay and be townies, people who have grown up in this place. And then because there's always people nowadays moving in and coming into your town, and your town gets bigger or smaller or whatever it is. And so it's like a awesome little commentary on small town life reality. And of course, I mean, we're, this is an exciting softcore, jacking it scene. Like anybody who's a little whatever could totally replay just that scene right there. And then you could even nowadays, because of all of the audio things, you could do all kinds of stuff. It's pretty hot. Oh yeah. Ooh. But I mean, like, it's all of the curveballs of it's not even curveballs though. Like, us as a species or as a people are fucking stupid, right? Because we basically are just like so unaware of all kinds of stuff, or it's really really smart or something like that, right? But no, like in a grand sense, like we're super stupid because like even if we did know what to do, we wouldn't do it likely. Chasing whatever lie that we decide to go after. But that's something else. But so like this movie, right, has all of these just angering moments because you saw the previous movies and the thought and everything that went into keeping it somehow flowing between all the movies and connecting it, and there is like whole little multiverse thing or whatever you want to call it of these characters of this Jersey town. Because you guys don't know, because you've never been to New Jersey. Like I went to school in a like one of those burgs for a few months, a couple of times. I went to elementary school and I went to middle school, and I got to see Jersey for a little bit, and fucking A, dude, like that I'm from New Jersey song was so good. It was so good, and wow, man, like this is straight just burging it, right? And you have like there's like the tri-state area, right? There's like this zone of a couple of states, and they're all super similar but not, and they all have the Berg thing going on, and and it's like a whole different thing. Like once you leave this area, like, and you draw out to some other place, like you're not people aren't going to understand things the same, and so that's I guess part of what they're saying and stuff, and like even though it's the same small town everywhere, it's not at the same time, because who makes up your small town, and there's a lot of hard working people of Jersey who are super like pop culture society slash, they're just so dedicated to their characters or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to say anything. It's not insulting, but it is Jersey. Oh my gosh! Like the place where on how many occasions did a bunch of medical waste end up on the fucking beaches at Jersey Shore? you know, how many surf spots are fucking gone now? Huh? Fucking pricks. Fucking Guan. Okay. I mean, you guys have, if you know the right person in the Berg, you might actually have fucking amazing weed, right? But for the most part, it's some of the worst fucking weed that I've ever smoked. Because it was like Mexican brick pack. And then I got to try like some buds from some other states that somehow made it to Jersey. And they were all right. They weren't total shit, but it wasn't like smoking the buds that I grow. Like my medical buds. But I mean, fucking A, dude. Like, they really pulled together a lot of cool things. And the funny thing is that they leave out all of the, like, they show just the surface of all of this stuff, right? And then all of the little idiosyncrasies and small things that you have to have down in order to actually make this successful, like negotiating skills and the reality of money and all of these things. Like, they completely leave out how to deal with that, and that's like a huge part of this industry, especially, like contracts and everything like that. And like when Star Wars was made, right? Like, the question is they got paid shit, but they got a percentage of the back end, and I don't know if they got any merchandising rights kind of things or whatever, but like as it went on and the industry developed into the merchandising powerhouse that it is today, like it's, yeah, I don't, but so like he leaves out all of the major freaking, like if I wanted to make a movie, like my own movie, but like a Kevin Smith, like a movie on my life, which would be fucking gnarly movie, people, and at the same time not gnarly, just like with some scenes, because you have to, like, these are all big scenes, and so like some scenes that are just like devastating, and like when you build a character, and you're shooting and you're building a character, and the conversation, everything's supposed to be hinting at the personality and stuff of who this is a fucking person, so that when the falls hit and stuff like that, like you have a more of an understanding of how or who or what is going on. Something like that's what I was like in character construction, right? But I'm just some schlep, I'm just a schmuck from an island, who had remedial English classes and then had advanced English classes because they wanted to hook up with these girls who wouldn't even give them the time of day because of like economic standing and just general, lack of, like confident pursuit or something. But I mean, like, my version of this would be like of the Kevin Smith universe would be a whole different fucking thing, because I know Jay and Silent Bob, man. Like I like, and which, like, Jay and Silent Bob seem like they're super chill dealers, man. But like I've walked, like I grew up walking Waikiki as a little kid in elementary school, like whatever you want to call it, like sneaking out of my dad's apartment, or just, not even asking, just leaving and walking the Waikiki Strip at 2:00 in the morning, fucking all the time, man. And all of this, seeing all of this stuff, seeing real life as an aware kid, like a kid who's an adult. He's like, I completely understand everything, which makes it all even worse, like, and so, but, I mean, this is like amazing right here, right? Because this is real, man. Like, Randall had his heart attack, right? And now he's fucking flipping out. And, like, he doesn't even know what's going on, And Dante is just completely, because Dante eats the same shit. Like, people, like, my understanding of their relationship dynamic, right, is that Randall's like the main anchor. So, like, in Clerks 1, like, Dante covers for Randall, right? Like, Dante is like, like, if I open the store, like, then Randall gets to sleep and do his thing, and then he'll be more fun and everything like that, and so he's kind of like trying to like maintain his Randall, right? And Randall, like, they're both like fully developed characters, of like Yogi Bear, like, above the average bear, and they just, like Randall is a little bit more on the some kind of intelligent, like, and Dante is more of like the grounded to society, like, he really knows societal norms and all this stuff. And Randall is like, look, I understand all this, and fuck your stuff, like, fuck you stupid fucking, like, you're all of these expectations, like I understand all of these things, and I'm not gonna fucking like yeah, man, like I'm here to, like, I will help take your money and facilitate the whatever of goods, but they're paying me shit, and you know it, and I know it, and I'm not going to take your crap, and sometimes I'm going to dish out shit because I'm bored and I have to deal with a $7 an hour job, and that he likely has to live with his parents for a while, possibly forever. But there's some like economic things that didn't make any sense to me, like, fucking convenience stores do really good, like, there's a convenience store down the street from where I live that I know is pulling in like $1 million or $2 million in profit a year, like, and yes, this is like a small burg town, but just, you saw the volume in the first movie, like, that's not too bad, and they own the store, and their only real whatever is Elias, and he's the employee of the month, and so Dante and Elias together are like this gigantic powerhouse, and then Randall is kind of there, because if Randall wasn't there, they wouldn't want to come into work, then it'd be a job, instead of like, we're just hanging out with friends and then making money at the same time. And so, damn, man, it's really, it's amazing, like, to think that this guy could have actually thought out all of this stuff, like, that's his mind, like, he's really Silent Bob type, while also being Randall. But like, I haven't seen any other film universe or whatever that's this detailed. That and so, like, that's like, see, like, everything right here, and so, like, like, you're supposed to understand through all of the years of watching movies and probably watching extra stuff and everything like that, that in post-production you can put filters and shit, and so they have their fucking Victorian actors white makeup. They're because they're thespians, and also because it probably like takes away sharpness and stuff And when you're filming in black and white, the whatever it adds to that, and so there's just all of these really cool little things like that are thrown in there, like and like his that scene right there, that's the girl who that he sold the cigarette to. And so it's the conundrum, like this, like the kid wants to smoke, Randall's like, the kid's gonna smoke it anyway. Why can't Randall make that that money off that pack? No, I don't. That's I don't know, man. I don't know, because then it becomes like if you're not born with money and into the society and world where who gets you what you have and all this, and you can be a total like just a shit. You can be shit, not worth of whatever, but your dad is this or your mom is this, and and so people are like, well, I know his mom and dad, and so I think I can trust him with at least this much, and so you're gonna get the job and stuff over other people, and these aren't those guys, These are they were probably like somewhat cool in high school. They're cool enough to get invited to all the parties, and like I always wondered, like, are they gang? Because like Jay and Silent Bob lurk out in front of the store, and they lurk inside the store, but they're always together, kind of, like working together. And then there's this one scene, and he does this check, right? And he's like, something about selling, you can't sell drugs in front of the store, and fucking, like, oh, we're not selling drugs in front of the store, but, like it's just because it's probably more just that, like them being in front of the store brings customers to the mini mart, like any whatever, smart, like if they're like Jay and Silent Bob, right? Like from what I've observed watching, basically they're just gonna bring you customers to your store, and like they're gonna go and buy something at the Quickie Mart, and they're gonna go and pick up their bag of weed and go home, and they get to get their weed and their fucking munchies at the same location. And that's just convenient for everybody. Okay. Now dude, I'm sorry, Kevin. Even though I smoked some, from a cool Jersey boy. Like I smoked some of their buds, and that was the shit, man. It was like I hit the bong, and it was like Batman Beginnings when he's driving Rachel home after she got drugged or whatever. It was sick, dude. It was sick, right? But I don't know that that's what you guys got. And you're concentrating it up, and so I don't know, man, because I know the buds that I grow, and I know high grade, and I know most people just have basic high grade, and that most of you guys can't touch my 3-day coast down, right? Like a real real medical buds should be, which is that you're at least content for 3 days, and when you come down complete, like when you haven't smoked, you're leaving on a good note so that you're in a better like headspace or whatever. But I mean, it's fun, like shameless commercialism there, like promoting he has like a sweet, like, I don't know, I've never smoked his style. Dude, unless it's organic, I'm not even gonna smoke it. I don't care about your parts per millions or anything like that, man. Like, I'm not willing to. I don't want the crash. Besides that, I don't like concentrates. Like, unless it's like good old school hash, old school pressed hash, or like, yeah, old school pressed bubble hash too. Stuff like that, or organic grade, medical grade BHO. Like, I don't want it. Things that don't even exist, I've never even seen before, and oh my gosh, dude, like, oh, it's that chick. Ooh. weed. See, look, that, yeah, there it is. Shameless promotions. Shameless promotion. Like, who knows? Did you hear what he said? That he wanted $100 and you could get 3 pre-rolls that have, like, you know, like hash or whatever he's got going on, like concentrates and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you, as somebody who has, like, who knows a little bit about weed. Like, that's either, like, amazingly, like, whoa experience, or it's just like holy shit, man. Like, I just smoked this much THCA, you know. If you ever want some consulting, Kevin Smith, I'll consult for you, buddy, if you pay cash and you maintain not knowing my name. I'm just joking around, man. But it's an amazing movie, okay? Like, but oh man, what happened to the Jersey 4-4 clerk? You know, and that was funny stuff, man. Because Jay and Silent Bob seem like really chill, cool drug dealers, and like I have come across very few Jay and Silent Bobs in all. Like, when I used to pick up weed in the dark days, most people were more like fucking some scary, you know, hood wannabe idiot making death threats over a gram and pushing all kinds of violent energy and stuff. You know, that was most of the fucking scene, and they had crappy salt bud. You know, not like, because there's good grown salt bud and then there's crappy salt bud. And it's just, oh, so sad. So sad. But, I mean, like, I didn't even talk about a lie. I mean, you see a lot, like, growing as a character, right? But, like, Elias was looking for Randall, you know? Like, they were questing for each other. Yeah, he was looking for somebody who was, like, has the same level of enthusiasm and genius, whatever, eccentricity as him. And it's kind of like Dante is his waiting show, because Dante in 2, but before 2, like, his whole vibe, even in 1, is like, I gotta get out of here, you know. Like, he's not, like, this is either what he wanted to do, you know, and he's just that kind of individual, or like he because I mean, he could have gone and done a whole bunch of shit, and by this time in his life, like, he'd have a bunch of money. And so, like, when he's going and he has to borrow the $37,000, that's where I was going at. Okay, so when he has to go and he has to borrow that money, it doesn't make any sense to me, unless you're just saying, and that's like a it's, I don't want to say, it's not a white culture joke, it's a middle class joke. And because that might be, because, like, the when you talk to most middle class people and rich people, right, they'll try, and you don't have money, they'll try and empathize with you, like, which is like, I don't know whether they're trying to be like nice or they're just fucking stupid, right? Because it's like, oh, like, you're going home to your house and you have all of your craft and everything like that, and you and I both know that it doesn't make any sense that I'm born into a world that people definitely didn't make and definitely don't own, but they're saying because they have guns and violence that they own everything, and that I have to submit to their fucking systemic slavery because I was born, and then because I was born to a family who didn't have whatever it was that the people who have money, who are the gatekeepers to having money, because they have to pay you to get money. So it doesn't make any fucking sense that I'm born with nothing and then I have to slave and find a way to get people who have to give to me in order to exist. That fucking doesn't make any fucking sense, you know. But you're mostly fucking Yodish idiots, right, who forget what the Allfather said, and you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna get fucked for it. Like, you're gonna live. So the Allfather is gonna come back to his planet that he owned, that he made to enjoy, that you fucking idiots ruined your places to fucking exist in, You know, that were still that guy's stuff. But like, oh, we'll still let you exist there, right? And then the guy's gonna come back and then have to pay rent, bills, food, and everything like that, and be treated like it's not his and all this. And you're gonna be saved and not be fucking tortured forever when the guy's like known for brutally fucking torturing like his own loved ones after they broke his rules. Like, you're fucking stupid Jotans, fucking idiots. I challenge you to the end. I fucking hate you. And I will have my way. I will have my way. Oh, goddamn it. Oh, what a tangent there. No, but this is great. It's a Jersey joke that you would only get if you understood, you know, the old cultures of Odin and all of that shit, you know, before a whole bunch of things, you know. When a wanderer could be insulted by somebody and really, like, the next day or 4 weeks later, another village comes to your village and wipes your shit out and enslaves you and stuff. Oh, the good old days, you fucking pricks. You don't even know who you pissed off. Oh my gosh. No, but then, this is a great fucking movie, okay? In so many ways. And so, like, you got to take it for what it is, and then you have to look at it from the statistical probability and given the reality of the previously established Dante-Randall relationship dynamics and everything like that, which is Dante is hopelessly dependent on Randall for existence. Yeah, like Dante, like Randall doesn't have a car because he knows that Dante will whatever, right? But Dante doesn't want Randall to get a car, because if he gets a car, then Randall's going to start developing out of their, like, it removes them from their friendship, kind of, you know? Like, it's like when you go and you pick up your friend to hang out, right? And you pick them up, and then, but when you go and you meet together in separate cars, it's a completely different situation. Completely different. And the friendships fragment in a lot of ways, like real friendship, because there's like real friendships like what these guys had, right? And then there's the polite societal shit of you know, the economic classing, and, you know, a lot of it centers around money and economics. And, like, you know, like, oh, this person makes me look good or popular or anything like that. And this is just unabashed bromancing and stuff like that, you know? Like, they both, like, understand each other to some degree. And then, like Dante is, like, he has to get out, you know? But he's not. Like, the question that I always wondered, right, was if Dante had just fucking gone, like, if either Bex didn't tell Dante that she was pregnant, right? Because that's actually, maybe that's the biggest one. Maybe that's so Bex started the chain reaction, possibly, right? That ended with her death. And so Dante would have ended up in Florida, right? And then likely Randall would have ended up moving down there as well, because he's the manager of this place and shit, you know, and Randall's only going to be able to withstand so long, and more than likely Randall and Elias would end up moving down to Florida and working with Dante, given their relationship dynamic. And Elias is the employee of the month. Like, this guy is super, you know, like, if you're able to handle all of the social dynamics and stuff like that of being with people, and you can actually work a job, like a job gives you, like, you have the highest chance of getting a girlfriend right off the bat. You have the highest chance of a whole bunch of things that a lot of people leave out, that just kind of come with getting a job and holding one, right? And so, like, but to have a job with people that you actually enjoy being around, you know. And so likely what I hypothesize is that Randall would have talked Elias into coming down there, and of course Dante would have gone with it completely, because it's just a win-win for Dante anytime Elias is there, because just the way that it all works. So, like, it's kind of like Dante and Randall are life partners, like they're Jay and Silent Bob, they're heterosexual life partner type of thing, even though, like, part of me thinks that Randall is a virgin, even though he's either or I guess he's so kinked out that they can't show it on camera, but that's funny. But either way, like, it's a masterpiece of cinema and all this, and then all the like he's got his daughter's boyfriend, like long-term boyfriend type thing in the movie, right? And he's doing, and he's pretty, like, I've seen him in other movies, like, he's pretty funny, and he's like, the guy did a good job, and like, there's just like all these little Easter egg things, right, that you're kind of like, oh, like, does this make sense? And so, like, they're still maintaining, like, loyalty to the previous stories in a lot of ways, right? And then the thing is that a lot of the people who are commenting and hating are living void of reality of aging, and like, he has his life, like, in many, Dante's best move would have been, even though it would have seemed really weird. So, like, Bex dies and his kid dies, right? And he mourns, for a brief period, and really just gets it out, and then he just goes on, and then, like, maybe he has, like, one day a year that he goes and he, does some, like, makes her favorite food, or some drives that, because she loved that Mustang, right? Like, and I, like, understand how people have developed, like, the love for their cars. Like, I love, even though my car's like a literal beater with an internal engine issue, and it's probably worth like under $500, but I somehow keep it running, like, I love my car, but that he doesn't have, like, a piece of her car, he doesn't, you don't even see a picture of him and the baby, of them together as a family, like a family picture or anything like that. There's, like, a whole lot of things, and she definitely died. It's not like she broke up and left him with the kid, and he, like, is like an emotional wreck and schizophrenic out or whatever. Like, she definitely died, and he is he's coping with this, but he's like, the reality, like, he's always been that kind of a guy, like, that I shouldn't, like, I wasn't even supposed to be here, but he volunteered to be there because Randall, like, his whole life revolves around Randall, like, they're not gay, but his whole, because, like, the reason why your spouse gets 50% is because the person that you were with them while you were making all of that money and existing would not exist. Therefore, all that money and opportunity wouldn't have been there the same way. And the only reason why it exists is because they gave you that extra fucking oxytocin and all that shit that kept you in a certain headspace. That's how it fucking works, people. Okay, you can biohormonally fucking whatever, a whole bunch of stuff. In lore and stuff, in legends of our species or whatever you want to call it, there was this one, and that the real god dude was all like, oh, like, you're like lower than animals, like, you're basically just like a bunch of fucking rats or anything like that, right? And then, like, the dude that he was talking to got all offended and pissed off, right? And like, no matter how the guy was like, hey, like, you can't, like, that you can't see the difference between is proof that you're just a lower being, and like a rat, like, we're literally we're like rat, monkey, bear, pigs, we're rat, monkey, bear, because, like, rats and pigs and stuff, monkeys too probably, but more so pigs and rats mostly, right? What their behavioral patterns in nature are, they, like, the big rat, like a pregnant mama, will run into your house, have babies. The babies will be like, "This is my territory," and that mama will be like, "This," and they'll defend it with their lives. You know, and they were just the day before, they didn't even know it fucking existed, and they'll say like, "Oh, it's mine," you know, and make up all kinds of bullshit if they could, you know, to justify their fucking whatever it is they want. It's bullshit. But either way, this is a great fucking movie, and it's not getting the play or the recognition that it needs. And even though I don't know that anybody will watch it, maybe Kevin Smith will somehow find this one review and watch this one and be like, oh wow, I'm gonna take this guy's offer up to come out and smoke weed that he grew with him, because some of his comments made me think that when he says that he grows some of the most amazing medical buds like ever, that he's not just lying about it, like he actually is, and I want to try that. So if you and yous ever want to come out and smoke a joint or whatever, bud, like I would totally smoke out with yous and smoking, even though you guys are drastically far beyond. Maybe we can go out to eat or something. You guys can pay for the food, and I'll smoke you guys out. I actually grew and put together a strain off of other strains, and I know other strains, and the creativity is like unparalleled. It's amazing. Like, I got your next fucking movie sitting in my freezer, buddy. You know, like I'll even let you smoke some of it, possibly. You know, I'll give you the taster, and then you can, then you got to figure out how much it's worth to you. You know, which is basically, I want a house, buddy. I want out of this goddamn homeless existence. But I mean, check it out, man. I'm couch surfing, but this is the movie. It's fucking awesome.